Watch this. This is my game face, Dalton. I'll explain later. Hey, people. This is the DJ Preps football preview show, and I'm Brad Locke with Dalton Middleton, and we're here to talk football, high school football, of course, as we do every Thursday. We're halfway through the season, Dalton.
It's the regular season, yeah.
The regular season.
Yeah, but it's going by fast.
It has. It has gone by fast. Always seems to. But anyway, thanks for joining us. Going to spend the next few minutes talking football. Going to preview 3 big games. We'll have the Bralton Award. We're going to go over our coverage plans. First things first, Dalton, let's review last week's picks. Of course, we make predictions on each of these 3 games. The coin picks the winner. We just pick the score. So last week, the coin went 2-1. Did pretty well. Got the South Pontotoc and West Point games correct. It missed on the Faulkner-Okolona game. Okolona won big. On the season, Dalton, halfway through the season, the coin is 10-8. So about what you'd expect.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, just you got 50-50 shot here. So that's how the coin did last week. As far as who had the best picks, we went 2 or 3 weeks without making any good picks, Dalton. This week, though, you were really close on the South Pontotoc-Morville game. You said 35-14. It was 36-17.
Getting right back on track.
I was close in the Lafayette West Point game. I said 17-16. It was 14-13. So we're getting better as the season goes on. You got to get better each week, Dalton.
We're learning more about the teams, I guess.
Exactly. And so next thing we're going to do here, 3 games to watch. We'll go over 3 big games for this week, keys to the game, and, of course, we'll do the prediction thing. These games are going to be Aberdeen at Nettleton. We've got Okolona at Smithville, and we've got Amory at Itawamba AHS. So let's start, Dalton, with Aberdeen at Nettleton. Aberdeen 3-3, Nettleton 3-2. It's a 4-3A Division 4-3A opener for both teams. And these 2 teams, Dalton, have both pretty good offenses. They can put up some points, and Nettleton's played well on defense at times too. 3 keys to the game. Okay, here we go, Dalton. You got Fred Fields. He's the Aberdeen quarterback, dual threat guy. Really good player there. It's the key is him versus that Nettleton defense that has played pretty well for the most part, Dalton, and they're pretty good against the pass. They've got 10 interceptions so far in 6 games. 5 games. So that's not bad.
The thing that sticks out to me is I think they've had 3 shutouts in those 5 games.
Yeah,
all their wins have been shutouts.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But I don't think you can shut out Fred Fields. You know, he's one of the players in the area that has potential to be all-area player right there. He's dominant as quarterback.
He's very good. But that defense, led by Nigel Owens, a cornerback, and then Davis Oswalt, a linebacker, I think they've got 5 picks between them. Key number 2. Nettleton needs to give quarterback Graham Gardner some time in the pocket. He's new to the position, playing quarterback. I've seen him play. You know, he's got some potential there. He throws a pretty ball. He can run a little bit, but they definitely need to give him time to find his receivers. And Aberdeen only has 3 sacks. Now, it doesn't mean they're not getting pressure on the quarterback, but 3 sacks. So maybe the offensive line there for Nettleton can hold things up for Graham Gardner. And then key number 3, who's got more grit? Dalton. Excuse me. Hashtag grit. That's how the kids do it. Who's got more grit, Dalton? I don't know. Nettleton, Aberdeen?
We'll find out tomorrow.
Both pretty gritty teams. I think I'll go with Aberdeen. They've always seemed just a little more gritty. I don't know. But let's do the prediction now. Heads, home team wins. Tails, visiting team wins. Dang it, Dalton.
It's on tails, though.
I do this at least once every week. That doesn't count, Dalton. It does not count. I need like a little table here, you know? Or something. Okay, the coin says tails.
Coin doesn't want.
The coin picks Aberdeen. Score?
Let's go 30-14.
I will say 28-24. Okay, sound good? Great. Game number 2. That was pretty. Game number 2, we've got Okolona at Smithville. Okolona is 5-1, 3-0 in Division 1-1A. Smithville 4-2, 3-0. So we got a couple of the division leaders. Bakersville is also undefeated in 1-1A, but this is a big one. Okolona at Smithville. 3 keys to the game. Okolona's speed, Dalton. Can Smithville keep up? Because last week we saw Faulkner could not, as Okolona won 52-14. They're fast on offense. They're fast on defense. They're fast. And at this level, at the level of 1A ball, as you mentioned on the podcast, in 1A, if you've got speed, you're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, the only way you can beat speed is if you have a team full of size and
or you're also fast.
Yeah, and a lot of teams in 1A don't have a team just full of huge size. So.
Right, exactly. Key number 2, Smithville quarterback Octavian Miller having a good year, and he's only thrown 3 picks in 102 attempts. But tell you what, Dalton, that Okolona pass defense has been solid. 9 interceptions on the year. Miller can run as well, though, by the way, so he'll be a big key.
Yeah, I talked to Harvey yesterday, and they're keying on him. You know, he knows they have to contain him to win the game. So
exactly. Yeah, it's Lamar Harvey, head coach at Okolona. Key number 3, who will give more relentless effort? It's Dan Mullen. It's Dan Mullen week, down in Starkville. He's coming back.
Effort.
He's coming back. That was his big thing, relentless effort. So we'll see who has more of that. The prediction, okay, it's Okolona at Smithville, and the coin says Smithville. Bold pick. Score?
20-14.
I'll say 26-25. Okay, game number 3, Amory at Itawamba AHS. Amory is 3-3, Itawamba 4-2. It's a Division II 4A opener for both of these schools. 3 keys to the game. Key number 1, the health of Ike Chandler. He's the star running back for Itawamba. He missed a game earlier this season with a high ankle sprain. It's kind of lingered, and he's been limited with his carries the last 2 games. And Dalton, for this week, he is doubtful. That's what Coach Clint Hoops told me. So without Ike Chandler, he's got 700-plus rushing yards. You're going to have to lean on Anthony Dilworth and some other kids there in the run game.
That's huge implications for them right there.
It is. And speaking of running backs, key number 2, Amory has Casey Ivey playing very well. Chris Satterwhite, the starter at tailback, got injured a few games ago, and that's a big loss. But then Casey Ivey steps up. Never really been a running back for Amory. He's got 524 yards and 2 touchdowns the last 2 games. So I think they'll be fine for now because he's playing really well. Key number 3, who has the better game face? See, that's a callback to the game face. That's what that is. Who's got the best game face? Let me see yours, Dalton.
That's about it. It's weak.
Well, you've seen mine already. So, prediction time. We've got Amory at Itawamba, as I said, and that didn't even flip. Need to work on my coin flipping skills, James. Tails, Amory, score.
35-34.
I'll say 29-25. Okay. And that's it for the 3 games to watch this week. Now, quickly, the Bralton Award. We do this every week. We honor the best 1-2 punch. Brad, Dalton, Bralton. This week, Pontotoc's Caleb Hobson and Taylor Hughes. Pontotoc beat Ripley last week 49-10. Now, Taylor, the kicker for Pontotoc, she also plays volleyball. She had to go up to Memphis last week to have brain surgery to fix a condition that she has that unfortunately ended her high school career. And she was a really good kicker. But Caleb Hobson, he's a receiver, running back for Pontotoc, and he was Taylor's holder on extra points and field goals, and they're really, really good friends. So last week, Caleb wore her number 16 jersey and had a huge game. 4 catches, 181 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So it was kind of like Taylor was there, and I think he was inspired by her to play well. So congrats to Taylor and Caleb, and best wishes to Taylor as she continues to recover. Okay, let's wrap this up by telling y'all where we will be this weekend covering high school football. Philadelphia at Calhoun City, that's actually a Thursday night game, and Dalton will be there for that. It's a rematch from a playoff game last year that Calhoun City won. And then on Friday, we've got Aberdeen at Nettleton. Melissa Metter will be there. Ethan Turner will be at Okolona Smithville. Dalton will be at Tupelo Columbus. Ben Michael will cover South Panola at Oxford. David Wheeler will have Amory against Itawamba, and I will be at the Boonville-Kossuth game. So there you go. Look for our coverage in the Daily Journal and at djournal.com. And also, I want to remind you to check out our podcast, Prep Rally, every Wednesday. Find it in iTunes or your podcast apps or at preprally.djournal.com. Follow us on Twitter at djournalpreps. That's it for the DJ Preps football preview show for this week. We'll be back next Thursday. See you then. Here's a coin back.
Jeez. I don't even know where that went.
It went down there.